it's Deborah Savage Sister and Mister. I'm doing a quick, simple street tacos for you guys today, and hopefully it's not going to get too smoky or noisy. I am doing this, well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and get my meat in. I'm going to cook the whole recipe, and it's just a really quick, midday meal. You know what I'm trying to say. And I'm probably not going to be able to see your comments because the camera's a little far away from me. And hopefully you can hear me over the meat sizzling. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this. And I'm getting smoked out while I'm doing it. But our oldest is recently on his own for meals, and I was going through simple recipes trying to forward him some stuff, saying, hey, this might be a great idea. And a lot of the recipes needed huge amounts of pantry items. I'm going to turn this down because it's pretty loud. Needed a lot of pantry items or a lot of time, or they created so much food that you would have a ton of leftovers. And for somebody who's just trying to, cook simply, cook on a budget, and cook with very little time, some simple recipes are needed. And so I thought I would just go ahead and share a few with you guys too, because even though this is something that has few ingredients, it's very tasty, and it's a great meal even if you have a ton of time and a ton of money. It doesn't matter, it's still very good. So what you're going to want to do, and this doesn't create a lot of extras, but if you're just like one person and you need to store any leftovers, you can just cool the meat and put it in the refrigerator to make some burritos or nachos. But if you are looking for trying to cook and talk at the same time, but if you're or you can freeze it. That was the other thing I was going to say. You could easily freeze it. Just let it cool and put it in a plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag, and put it in the, label it, and put it in the freezer with the seasoning, and just put, taco filling meat or whatever, and then you're set for the next time. So on this, I'm just using regular ground beef. I didn't say that before. And you can use whatever variety you want. One of the things that I just noticed, because I set everything up, but I had taken the seasoning that I'm using, and I was using the name for the blog post, and so now I've just realized that the seasoning isn't here. So I have to go get the seasoning. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry. All the fun of live videos. Okay. All right. So here's what's different about this recipe, and that is so the seasoning I'm using is the Chef Merito, and it's the carne asada one. I know there's a yellow one too, and I haven't used that, but this you'll just find in most of your Hispanic food sections. And you can use just regular taco seasoning if you want. I prefer this. It has a little bit of a different flavor than the standard taco seasoning. So what's different about this is that normally you would brown your meat and you drain it and you end up with, just regular ground beef. But this we're just going to sprinkle in however much seasoning you want. And I just put kind of like a thin layer on the top. You just sprinkle all the way around. And then you can taste it and see. But what's different about this is that you're actually going to fry it until it's crispy. And that's why I need a pretty hot pan, because you want the beef to get really crispy. So it's going to crisp up in the fat that came off of the beef. So you don't want to drain this, whereas most of the time you would drain your beef. In this particular one you won't. So the beef is all, you know, obviously ground beef doesn't take very long at all to cook up. So now it's just a matter of getting it crispy. And so the first few minutes while I'm making this, I'm breaking all the meat up into small pieces. And then after it's all broken up and cooked, then you can just let it go on a medium-high heat, and you don't really have to babysit it too much because right now it's just going to crisp up. So I'm going to turn that up, and right now it's, you know, my dial goes up to 10 as the highest, and right now it's about a 8.5, 9. I probably would put it all the way high if I was just cooking this by myself, but I'm trying not to create too much smoke and too much noise. But anyway, so that's that. Okay, so that's just going to crisp up. Now, before I started, I did, these are the tortillas I'm using. The little baby street taco flour tortillas, but you can easily use corn tortillas or whatever you have on hand. The smaller the better for street tacos, obviously. So how you want to cook these up is, if you're using corn tortillas and you have like a gas stovetop, then you'll want to go ahead and put them on the stove tops so that they can get a little charred. And you can do that with your flour as well, but I generally do that with the corn tortillas. If you have the little flour, these are just the Mission ones. If you have these and they're the flour ones, you can just put them in a paper towel, like a non-fuzzy kitchen towel, and then put them in your put it in your microwave for about 30 seconds and see how it goes. So I put in like about 5 tortillas here for 30 seconds. I use one of these tortilla warmers because they stay, it can go in the microwave and it stays warmer longer, but it's how it works just as well. It just won't retain that heat, and this retains the heat. So I'm going to put up a blog post well, the blog post is actually live right now with the information. I haven't done the photo for it, but it will have a link to this if you're interested in it. But like I said, a flour sack towel works really well. Okay, so I'm just gonna, so this I did a little while ago and they're still warm inside there. So I'm just gonna give these a little stir so that they can still crisp up. So you did the tortillas already. It's getting a little crispy. It needs a little bit more. Now I'm going to, now on street tacos traditionally, the only thing that you're using is green onions or onions and cilantro. And then you'll have your salsa with whatever salsa that you like on it. I'm using green onions today because that's what I had. I wasn't going to get out a whole onion just for this, but either one is great. And on this, you're going to be cutting both. I'm going to move this over here. You're going to be cutting both the tops and the bottoms. I already washed this, and so, but I use both the tops and the bottoms. You'll cut off a little bit of the top. I already did, but you just cut off a little bit of the top. And then this isn't the right knife, and now I'm on a shaky surface, so that's not helping. I need one of those like super fancy kitchens, right? For a kitchen island. No, I'm just fine. So I just use, like I said, the tops and the bottoms on this, and it works out really well. And you want to cut down to, you know, pretty far on your on your onions, because like leaving this much, that's still, there's quite a bit of onion left on that, so don't throw all that away. And I can hear that that's crisping up on there. So again, I'm just gonna zhuzh it about. And it's starting to get dark and crispy. Let me see, this is gonna be hot. I don't know if you can see, but see, it's all dark and yummy. That's where your flavor is. I'm actually gonna turn this down a little bit, and I don't know if you can see, but there's no of the fat left because that's all crisping up the meat. So that's why you don't wanna drain it, because you need that. Okay, so this again is at about an 8 right now because I turned it down a bit. All right, now on cilantro, you're just going to, it is a soft stem, so you can actually cut up the stems on cilantro. And you just want to, generally I cut it right before I'm about to serve so that it doesn't turn all dark on the edges, because once you start cutting, it will have the, I think it's the chloroform, but it will have the browning on it. So I will only cut it once I'm about ready to serve. All right, so that I've got meat flying everywhere. Okay, we're about ready to go here. So I've got my little plate. Now one of the things, it's a little smoky. One of the things that I would do with this is serve, to keep it super simple, is to go ahead and serve this with some frozen corn. That I would actually, once I take this meat out, I would not wash this pan. I would keep all that seasoning in there. I would put some frozen corn in. And what's great about frozen corn instead of canned corn is that the frozen corn has, you know, it's picked and then put into flash freezing, so it has a little bit more crunch and flavor to it than canned corn does. That's been heat processed. But as soon as but if you do the canned corn, then you have to find something to use it up if you didn't use the whole can. Whereas frozen, you take out what you need and you put a clip on it and you put it back in the freezer. I like the white corn. If you can get it, it's generally a little sweeter. So I would not clean this pan. I would put the corn right in there because there's some seasoning and flavor from it, from the taco meat. And since it's part of this meal, it would taste just fine. Add maybe just a little bit of butter, some salt and pepper, and that's it. And cook it right up again in this pan. And then maybe some chips. If you had some flour tortillas on these, if you had some extra flour tortillas and you just cut them into triangles, you can, I'm actually going to turn this off because this looks good. You can put some, just some spray and some sugar and cinnamon on it and make some cinnamon chips for a little dessert too. All right, so I'm going to make it a little taco. So I have my little tortilla, and then you're just going to go ahead and fill it, obviously, and then top it with your, you definitely need the cilantro and if you don't like cilantro, then I don't know, this is good. It's going to be tough because it really needs the cilantro, I think. I know some people don't like cilantro, but for street tacos, you kind of need it. And this, for street tacos, if you're not familiar, this is generally, you don't use cheese and like American type toppings on it. So, all right, there we go. Can you see that okay? All right, so that's dinner. Like super simple, super fast. I'm gonna try and create, I'm gonna actually take that off the burner. I'm probably gonna come on every once in a while, like at least once a month, depending on, you know, how people enjoy it and if it's worthwhile. But we want to help salvage your time as well in the kitchen and in other areas. So we're just trying to, you know, help you and learn in the process for ourselves the best ways to use what we have in the best and most efficient ways for our best lives. So that's kind of it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get a chance to make these tacos. It's also really great if you have some rotisserie chicken. I use the same seasoning and do it the same thing, only you're gonna need some fat in there to crisp up the chicken. So you know, whatever fat you like to use to fry things up or get a little crunch on it. And then you have like a carnitas type of thing, so you can use just about any meat. I use the same seasoning, do the same exact thing, and then you have pork or chicken street tacos. So, okay guys, I'm gonna have to walk around to shut this off. So thanks so much for joining. If you left a question, I'll get on it. I just couldn't see from the distance that I have the camera. And then I'll put a link to the blog post, and you can let me know if you you know, have any questions, or if there's any type of recipes that you're looking for, if you found this helpful. And I think that's about it. All right guys, have a great evening. Hope you get to enjoy these street tacos. Bye.